Hey, what's up, my dudes? It's your boy Cal Chow. We're continuing off where we left off last time. In the last episode, we were just trying to figure out where the hell to go. And it's this building right here, the one in red. Ah, damn it. There you two are. Good morning, Estelle. Good morning, Joshua. Morning, Anna. Morning. Is Shkara here already? Yeah, she's waiting for you upstairs. Once you finish today's training, you'll finally be recognized as members of the Bracer Guild. Good luck to the both of you. Thanks. We'll do our best. The Star and the Hangman, the Hermit and the Magician, and the last of all, inversion through the Wheel of Fortune. This seems like a difficult combination. How should I interpret this? Good morning, Shara. Well, if it isn't Estelle and Joshua, this is a rare occasion for the both of you to show up this early. Since it's my last day of training, I figured, why not? I'm ready to get this show on the road and become a bracer myself. I'll give you credit for your enthusiasm, but I'm going to work you hard today in every way I can think of to make sure that high-spirited attitude of yours holds up. I hope you're ready. I can feel that enthusiasm dropping already. Quiet, you. Every time I teach you something, you somehow manage to forget it. The training is my way of trying to keep some of that information in your head. Instead of letting it dribble out of your ears like it usually does. Wow, Joshua, Skara's picking on me. Don't worry, Skara. While Estelle may hate studying and rarely ever does her homework, acts rashly and is overly naive, and has a tendency to stick her nose into everything, her instincts are sharp, so I'm sure she'll pick up on how to use an ornament with some practice eventually. Probably. I guess there's not much I can do now except hope for the best. Hold on a sec, Joshua. Somehow I get the feeling that you weren't standing up for me. Well, that's odd. I'm positive I described all your best traits accurately. Whatever. By the way, Skara, what were you trying to predict with your tarot cards? Your face was really intent. All this? I was trying to get a vague reading about what might happen in the near future. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have been in the right mindset to interpret these cards correctly. You couldn't read the cards? Now that's surprising to hear. Actually, the more profound the meaning of the cards, the more difficult they become to interpret. But that's not important now. I think it's time we start your final training. I'll give you a brief rundown of all the information we've covered in the previous training. This minimal level of knowledge that bracers should have in order to function effectively. And Estelle, make sure you pay especially close attention to what I'm going to say. Yeah. Ornaments are mechanical devices which operate by using what is known as orbital energy. A variety of effects can be produced depending on the structure and type of quartz process septum installed. Although it's only been about 50 years since their invention, these devices play an integral role in all facets of life, from lights, heaters, and other everyday products to weapons, magic, and even airships. In connection, this technological reform is commonly known as orbital revolution. Bracers are investigate and combat specialists who work to protect civilians and maintain the stability of their respective regions. They aid in the community in various ways such as exterminating monsters, preventing crime, finding lost items, and escorting people and goods. The Bracer Guild, which has established branches across the continent, manages the affairs of the bracers in each region. The Kingdom of Liber, which is where we live, sits on the western half of the Sumera continent and abounds the nature in deep-rooted traditions. Liber is proud to be one of the leading producers in septium on the continent, and it's known for its high level of technology used to develop ornaments. Ornament technology has been a key pillar of support for Liberal in protecting its independence as is contended with neighboring nations. 10 years ago, when Liber was invaded by Eurobanian Empire, it was the use of Oberl-powered airships that saved the kingdom from defeat. Consequently, even now, our relationship with the Empire is somewhat sensitive, but thanks to the Queen's political finesse, Liberal enjoys peace. Let's see, since we've got a mountain of stuff to do today, let's get you off the hook this time with a condensed review. I'm going to speed things up now and move on to the practical portion of your training. Shkera, how is today's practical training any different from the training we've done before? Since it's practical, that means you will be experiencing things firsthand. Therefore, I'm going to have both of you run through everything as if it were a real bracer job. So what you're saying is, there won't be any studying at a desk involved. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. This time, you'll have to go out and make physical effort to accomplish your task. I'll make sure you work up a sweat, so hope you're ready. Yes, that's seriously what the doctor ordered. I didn't know what she was going to do I don't know what I was going to do. I don't know what I was going to do if I had to sit another day with my tush parked at the desk. I guess I got all worried for nothing. Well, suddenly you're all bright and cheerful, Stout. Let's just hope that smile on your face lasts until today's training. Okay, let's get cracking on your fidget objective, shall we? Let's have it. The first objective will be able to confirm the details of the job you'll be performing. But before that, there will be something we need to give the both of you. Aina, are they ready? Yes, they are. Alright, you two get one for each of yourselves. These two are very important, so make sure not to lose them. Bracer notebooks. Bracer notebooks serve as the official way to record the status of your current jobs. Also, anything you may hear or anything that you may find and where. These kinds of trivial things can often become clues. No matter how insignificant something may seem, always write it down. Understood. Crap, this sounds like it's going to be a pain. Oh, please tell me if my ears were playing tricks on me, because I swear I only got one response. I'm sure there were two. Keeping an accurate account of events is an important duty for all bracers. Let's get with the program and stop trying to make this out to be more than it really is and stuff. Okay, I got it. Make sure you do. Alright then, let's begin. Look over by the door, you can see that there's a bulletin board standing there. I want you to go check out the job description posted there. Very good. It looks like you were able to see what was posted without any trouble. Checking the bulletin board is one of the most basic functions a bracer performs on their job. Checking regularly to see whether or not there are any urgent tasks which needs immediate attention is also important duty for bracers. Man, all this talk about duty is starting to cramp my style. Make sure there are a lot of rules to follow. Sure, there are a lot of rules to follow, but there is an equal level of responsibility in the jobs themselves. I think being a bracer calls for much more than just someone with a half-hearted attitude. I guess you're right. I'll just have to be more motivated. Had a change of heart, have you? You betcha. But before all the motivation sneaks off somewhere, let's get to work on your next task. What will we be doing this time? We will be heading across the street to Mr. Melder's Orbital Factory and learning about how to use its services. He has graciously taken the time out of his work schedule to explain things, so make sure to be on your best behavior. Okay. Here's where you will learn how to use Orbital Factory services. At Orbital Factory, you can modify your orbits and synthesize support ports in order to use Orbital arts. Arts have a wide range of effects, and if mastered, can be extremely helpful. The bracer business is a pretty risky occupation, so the guild has a long-standing relationship with these Orbital factories. Anyway, this is about as much as I can explain. I'll leave the technical details to the expert. So, Mr. Welders, if you wouldn't mind taking over from here. No problem. Leave everything to me. So, what is it that you would like to know? Orbits. Orbits are mechanical devices which exhibit an array of effects through installation of various types of ports. By definition, that means lights, airships, engines, and so on are also types of orbits. However, the ones we'll be discussing today are battle orbits that enhance the user's special physical abilities and make it possible to use magic. Since each orbit is adjusted to match the owner's personal aptitude, the structures for these devices also differs for each owner. Simply put, the shape of the fixed elemental slots and lines which connect them vary at any rate. That's the layman's explanation. In order to install ports, you must first open a slot. By default, the central slot is open, but the other slots must be open at an orbital factory like this. It'll take a fair amount of Sephiroth too, which is needed for magic. We'll also see a max increase according to the number of open slots. I recommend opening all as soon as possible. So what is I need to give my brain a few seconds. Reading so much. Simply put, orbital arts are magic which can be discharged exclusively through the use of battle orbits. In other words, a number of peculiar effects can be producing by using the orbital energy stored within these mechanical devices. Since orbital arts can be a mouthful, they are almost universally referred to as arts. Probably ought to been called that from the get-go. There are several types of arts, but in order to be able to use them, the corresponding ports must be first synthesized at the orbital factory. Orbits are also set up to be once the peculiar ports is installed into a slot, the owner will be able to use those arts. The type of arts one can use also changes depending on the elemental value of the combination of installed ports. Basically, if you want to use water quartz, all you have to do is install quartz with the water elemental value. In reality, orbits are much more complex than what I've described, but I think this information should suffice for now. That's the one I got, right? It should be this one. Quartz are circuits made from Ceph. Quartz have a vast number of effects and raise the owner's abilities, while simultaneously making it possible for them to use arts. However, you will not be able to harness any of these special effects until quartz has been installed into a slot. However, there are also fixed slots in which only a certain type of elemental quartz can be installed. This being the case, when you synthesize a new quartz, be sure to check your orbit to decide whether you will be installing it ahead of time. Sepith are fragments of septium which are dropped by monsters. They are divided into 7 types: earth, water, fire, wind, time, space, and mirage. Mirage. Sepith can be exchanged for Mira almost anywhere, but at Orbital Factory it can be used to synthesize quartz and use orbital into open orbit. To synthesize quartz into open orbit slots in which to install the synthesized quartz. Fuck. 15 minutes of reading. Terrible reading. It looks like Mr. Welders has answered all your questions. If there's nothing else, then let's have the both of you try and use the services. For that, you're going to need to use some Sepith. With that amount, you two should be able to synthesize a few quartz. Now, I want you to begin by making an elemental quartz that will work with each of your particular orbits. In your case, to start any elemental quartz is okay, but for you, Joshua, it has to be time elemental quartz. Normally, at a shop, you will be able to exchange Sepith for Mira, but for this training, you will not be able to use this service. If you need to use the Orbital Factory, give Freddy a holler over there. I don't know about this. Oh, minus defense? Fuck that. Fucking roaches. Damn roaches on my legs. So I can't look at that. Alright, it looks like you two were able to synthesize well. Next, I want you to increase the arts you can use. Install quartz into your orbit so you can use both recovery and attack arts. Are you kidding me? That's it? Stonehammer. Fuck it. That'll do. I'm so confused. All this shit. Oh my god, we can't skip the shit. She says. I'm starting to get stressed out here. I seriously have no idea what I'm doing here. Okay, so confused. I am so confused here, man. I don't know what to do. Maybe I just need to leave. Just where do you think you're going? We haven't finished today's training yet. How? Do I need to install the blue one? That's it? Alright, looks like you got your both recovery and attacks arts set up. If you balance your arts out between, oh my god, fuck you, each other like you've done here, it should make dealing with monsters much easier. Additionally, your bracer notebooks contain information about which arts allow you to use. Which arts? Quartz. Fuck. If you'd like to use more powerful parts, check out the arts and quartz charts in your bracer notebooks and find something that works for you. Alright, our training here is almost finished. Last of all, I'm going to have you both open a new slot in your notebooks. The more slots you have available to you, the broader range of choices you have. Since EP which is consumed by using arts, can have its max value increased by opening up slots, it would be a good idea to open them up early on. Now, I want you to use the sepith, and open a slot on each of your orbits. Go ahead and decide which slot you're gonna open. Man, this fucking bitch. If only this game was a little bit more, easier to understand. Slot 2, open. Is that it? Are we good? I see you managed to open up your slot cell. Since your central slot is not limited to a particular element, you are free to install any type of quartz you like. This concludes your training here at Orbital Factory. Now it's time to move on to what you've both been waiting for, the qualification test. Pardon? Did you just say test? You can't honestly tell me that you forgot about the test again, can you? Didn't I remind you this morning? Now that you mention it, I vaguely remember some sort of talk along the lines of breakfast table. Sometimes I fear the future of the Bracer Guild and humanity. Oh well, no sense in worrying about that now. Let's head over to the testing area. You mean, like now? I don't know if I'm ready for it. How about a little less yapping and a lot more walking? I hate the reading. Joshua, help me. Mr. Melders, Freddy, thank you for all your help. Don't mention it, and good luck with the test of yours. We'll be rooting for you. I'm going to remember that. You left me high and dry like this, Joshua. All your training has finally come down to this. Your qualification test will begin here. I expect to see you both use what you've learned up to this point. Understood. What's wrong, Estelle? Scarab? What now? I was kind of wondering, but isn't it not going to be paper test or something? No. Did Cassius drop you on your head as a child or something? You just read what it said on the bulletin board, and not long ago, right? Yeah, and I even made you jot down what you read in your bracer notebooks, unless you forgot that too. I'm pretty sure the job listed mentioned searching for and retrieving an item from the sewers. Ringing any bells yet? What a relief. Oh, divine adios. I give thanks to thee for thy infinite grace in bestowing upon us the wonderful gifts as sewers. So what are you really saying is that you thought it was going to be a paper test? No wonder you were acting all crazy back at the Orbital Factory. I can't already feel the nostalgia. All those horrible days stuck in the classroom are starting to feel like grand memories, indeed. I'm really starting to wonder if we'll even be able to graduate at all. What's wrong with you? Why do we have to go and say something like that when I'm trying to reminisce about positive things? All right, that's enough jabbering, you two. This is supposed to be a test, so how about the both of you try and at least look a little anxious? So, just so you know, if you happen to flunk the test, you don't even want to imagine the kind of homework I have in store for the both of you. We'll be fine. Just tell us what you want us to do and let us loose. Well, if you're so confident, how about proving that you're not just blowing hot air with the results of your test? Anyway, as both of you saw on the bulletin board, the test will be to search the conducted and rolling sewers. Your objective is to retrieve the contents in the chest, which has been placed somewhere within the area. The layout of the sewers is extremely simple, so you don't need to worry about getting lost either. However, there are real living, breathing monsters down there, so if you get careless and let down your guard, you will be sorry. Also, let me give you this before I forget. Tear Bomb Monster Guide. What's this book for? It's called Monster Guide, and it's used to record information about monsters and other opponents in the game. Whenever you figure out an enemy's attributes, you should make an immediate note of it in there. Sounds pretty straightforward to me. He who controls the flow of information controls the tide of battle, right? That's exactly what I'm saying. You really got a good head on your shoulders, Joshua. That's some pretty useful advice. Thanks for the tip, Sheriff. We'll put it to good use. Alrighty then, let's get pumped and knock out this test. Don't forget though, this is the exam. We should make sure to treat it as such. Okay, if you made it this far, please leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when I upload more videos, and please, I don't know, thank you if you made it this far.